Hey, so we're back with God's Economy, Living Beyond the World System, and today I've got David Guttman and Anna here today, and we're going to be talking about business and an anti-MBA program. Let's just get right into it and tell us, like, is there a name for the program? What's involved with the program, and how does it work?
Yeah, so I've been a serial entrepreneur for the last 35 years, and we were talking about this off camera a little bit, but going to Ivy League schools is kind of this. Everyone who went to an Ivy League school understands the dirty secret.
Hmm.
That it's bullshit that you went to an Ivy League school, but because you're benefiting from it, you don't say anything about it.
Right.
And at the time I went to Wharton, it was literally the top ranked business school in the world, and the education was worthless.
Mm.
And I'm not that's not hyperbole. I'm
Okay.
telling you, it was without worth.
Wow.
No merit whatsoever. There was
Tell me how you really feel.
yeah, well, so what was worth it though, which is interesting because it was also at Wharton. Wharton was the only top business school that had something called the Small Business Development Center. SBA funded, and so they would pay 2/3 of my tuition tax-free in exchange for me providing consulting services to Philadelphia area businesses.
Okay.
That's how I learned to be an entrepreneur. I learned by doing. And so like I had this one client. So I have a client meeting with the CEO of this company. It was called Analytical Graphics. They'd just been on the front page of the Wall Street Journal,
Hmm.
and they were the top, satellite tracking software company in the world.
Okay.
And they did all like the Nokia satellites at the time. They were tracking all the satellites. And and I'm meeting with the CEO to put a budgeting and forecasting model so they can raise venture capital. I'm taking finance 101. I literally don't know anything, right? So I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I found a kid who was a classmate of mine who was friend. Now we're friends, and he had done budgeting and forecasting before business school. And so he spent the next 48 hours teaching me how to do it so I
Mm.
wouldn't look like a jackass in my first meeting.
Okay.
That's how I learned.
Wow.
And so the program is called the Anti-MBA, What the Wharton Business School Never Taught Me. And because it didn't teach me anything on how to actually be an entrepreneur. And yeah, if you wanted to go into finance and go on to Wall Street or investment banking, there's some value there,
Okay.
sure. But you want to be an entrepreneur, no value whatsoever. And so what I basically am doing in the course is I distilled down to it's about 4.5 hours, what it would take to evaluate an idea, start, scale, and sell a business.
Interesting.
And then in order to be persuasive that not that anybody could do it, but anyone with the right raw materials would be able to do it. Um, I said, what would be really cool is if I had a startup business that was a through line through the course, but what would be even more compelling is if I could take someone who is inexperienced from a business standpoint and have them use the course and my mentorship to actually evaluate an idea, start, scale, and then sell a business. So Anna is the daughter of a close friend of mine. I'm an advisor on his company,
Hmm.
and so I had basically brought her on as a summer intern just to do some social media grunt
It's
work.
great.
And after 3 weeks, the light bulb went off because she's so capable, so smart. She had the raw materials. She was curious,
Hmm.
right? She was disciplined. She was smart, which is just an extra bonus. You don't even have to be that smart to be a good entrepreneur, but it's not. But it's helpful, right? And she had good decision-making processes. I
Okay.
saw the way she processed information, how she made decisions, when she came to ask questions and when she didn't.
Yeah.
She figured stuff out on her own most of the time, but came to me when she couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
All the things that a good entrepreneur CEO needs to do. So I said, Anna, first I asked her dad to make sure he wouldn't, you know, unfriend me. Uh, that it would it be okay if I made this, proposal to her. I said, look, I said, Anna, hear me out. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I want to make you CEO of a company that you're gonna start in the course. It's
Okay.
gonna give you 51% of the equity. And we're gonna start the business within 30 days, and we're gonna get it profitable within 90, and hopefully within a year to 18 months, sell it. If you want to, you're CEO, so you decide if we sell it or not. But so I think, well, you can ask her yourself, but she probably thought I was crazy. But that was basically the idea. Was I wanted to demonstrate that it could be done, and that you don't need to waste. It will cost you $500,000 in lost income plus tuition and everything to get an MBA from Wharton right now.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Anna some questions, but before we do that, so what's involved if someone's watching this and they want to, get in with this program, and what do they need to do? What are the steps? What are
So
their
we're
costs? What are their when they,
launching next Tuesday.
okay,
Okay, so it'll be on all my socials, whatever. Just click through, sign up. Like I said, it'll take us about 4.5 hours of material, and then what I'll do is at the and I want to be really transparent about
mhm,
this. The reason I created the course, I don't even care about making any money from the course, though I'm charging for the course. That's not why I'm doing it. What I'm doing is I'm using it as a filter to basically do like a reverse Y Combinator or Shark Tank, where basically When they're done with the course, if they've completed the course, they'll get a coaching call with me where I'm going to evaluate them and their business idea. If I like them and if I like their idea, it'll be an invitation only to a mastermind that only 10 people are going to be in.
Wow.
They have to commit to be mentored by me for 6 months. At the end of those 6 months, I'm going to make between a $250,000 and $500,000 investment in no less than 1 and no more than 3 of those businesses.
I see.
So the goal is for me to have board seats and equity positions in 10 to 12 companies over the next 36 months.
Okay.
That's the goal. And this was my way that I reverse engineered something to do that, because I basically want to make those investments in people I like and in businesses that I like.
I love
That's
that.
the only way I could think to do it.
I love that. Anna, what do you think about all this? How did this start?
It started, as David said, as a summer intern. I
Okay.
thought I was going to be working part-time, I was going to do some social media work, and then that's basically it. But David brought me on. I really liked him because he's just a very likable guy.
Obviously.
And
Yeah.
I just wanted to give him, like, provide as much value to him as possible, just because that's how I am in general. I try to provide as much value as possible to the people that I look up to.
Okay.
So I guess he saw that and he did make the proposal to me, and I thought that he was crazy. So it did go down like that. But then perhaps because I was so naive, perhaps also because I dreamed of becoming an entrepreneur since I was 7 years old. I was like, okay, I take this now or never. Now. And so I took the deal, and that's how we started on the journey.
What does your mom or dad think about this? What are they?
My dad is also an entrepreneur. And so he was like, I love my daughter. I don't want to let her go, but like, okay, she has something going for her, so I might as well just step out of the way and let her do it. My mom, she loves me very, very much. She's sitting right there. And so she was a little bit more cautious about it. But when we were making the deal and when we were making like, oh yeah, I'm gonna become CEO, she was just really happy for me
Okay.
because I've been talking about it for way too long.
For way too long.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the worst that could happen?
The worst that can happen is I can fail and I can get a ton of experience and then I'll start again.
That is the absolute best answer you could
Yep.
give. That's it right there. What is the absolute worst that could happen? What challenges have you come across so far? Any thoughts or just things that you're working on through this process so far?
Well, I think it's just because I have zero experience. I've never done any of this before.
Mhm.
The only thing that I've done really is lead small teams in my leadership classes, so that's not the same. So I think the biggest challenge is probably learning all of the skills that you have to learn as being an entrepreneur at the same time.
Okay.
That was probably the most challenging, and that is still the most challenging, but I took it one step at a time. First, I got really, really deep into the legal stuff. It is my least favorite
Yeah.
out of the whole entrepreneur
Setting up business,
thing.
you mean?
Setting up business,
Mhm.
deciding which structure to do,
Yep.
what taxes. Oh, I hate it. I'm not the type of person to do that, but that was the first thing that I did. And then after that, it was all about team building. And this was something that I was most interested in the beginning because I always thought I was going to be a psychologist, if not an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I love people and I love talking to people. And my dad taught me the difference between managing a person and leading a person. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to apply it. So I was trying to figure out, and I asked David a lot about it. How do I lead these people so that they are inspired, so that they want to work for me, even though I'm 18 years old? So, like, if I was 27 and I was working for an 18-year-old, I'd be like, okay, so what do you have to offer?
Yes.
So I was really trying to make sure that they feel the passion, because that's all I really have right now. I have the passion, I have the curiosity, the big eyes, and I think they feel inspired just by that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to channel it through them.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm still working on. And of course, we launching the business, we have to build the website, we have to do all of this stuff.
So you have done that yet, or you haven't done it yet?
So we're launching pretty soon.
Next week?
We have maybe next week is very optimistic.
2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks, we're launching because the website is almost done. We secured the manufacturers, and so we're basically on the right track to start and launch really, really soon.
Okay, so we can't say yet what it is, right?
No, we can.
Let's
We
talk
can.
about it. What is it?
So David had this really good idea. He asked me to be CEO, and then he was like, okay, so this is the business that I think you should think about. And I was like, okay, well, shoot, you know? And
I had a picture.
yeah, he had a picture in the background. He was like, you see that picture? This was it was a picture of Michael Jordan, was it? Yeah, Michael Jordan. It was a quote underneath that David really, really likes. And he was like, I could not find this anywhere on the internet. For no amount of money, I could not find this picture. I wanted this quote. I wanted the Michael Jordan in the background. No one could give it to me, so I created it on my own. And then he created a few for himself. Then he created a few for his friends. Everybody said that this was the best present they've ever received because it's the thought that counts. And here you thought about their greatest motivation and you thought about a quote and you presented to them. So he was like, wait, that could be a really good idea for a business. So that's what he pitched me. He was like, what if we do a very, very custom built, offer custom built posters? We lead them through the whole process. It's all about service, going through it with them and all that kind of stuff. And they get their motivation materialized, you know? And it's an art piece.
Personalized.
Yeah, it's personal.
Personalized motivation.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's not what you would get at Target or anything like that, where you walk through the aisles and all that you see is like, I love coffee. Don't talk to me before I've had hot coffee, you know?
Right.
There's no way.
By the way,
Yeah,
cappuccino.
me too. But like, there's no way that I will put that on my wall because, like, come on.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided to do that. That was the initial idea.
Okay.
Then, but also, I will have to be transparent. For an 18-year-old starting their first business, this is not the most exciting business idea that I've ever heard. I was like, okay, let's do it. But then I thought a little bit more about it and I put a spin on it. And David thankfully liked it. So we are going to do that in phase 2.
Okay.
So you have the poster on your wall, right?
Yeah.
What I came up with is that the poster industry does not have a lot of tech integration whatsoever, but it's meant to inspire. So I was like, okay, what if we put something that looks like a QR code on the poster, and then you can scan the QR code, but it's going to be concealed, so it is not a sword to the eye.
Yeah.
You scan the QR code, and every day you get AI generated content that is specific and tailored to your
Oh,
goals.
see, I love that. Sign me up.
So it's basically the poster becomes a portal into your self growth. And you get TED Talks, you get articles, you get videos that will like facilitate your growth, right?
So it'll populate content that person is seeking anyways.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
And we would ask them like, okay, what is your goal? And they would also be able to rate like, okay, this was really helpful when the AI puts something for them. This is really helpful.
Mhm.
This was not very helpful. And the AI will grow with them and with their goals.
Got you. Wow.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to launch soon.
Mm-hmm.
What is the next step for you? What are you actively working on right now? What part of it? Because one of the things that I appreciate about this is that the ability to learn is important. And I think if you don't do it, it doesn't matter about college, but we still have to learn. So, and if you're in a learning environment, I think you have an opportunity to be successful. What are you learning right now? Or what are you applying right now? What's David teaching you as far as the process for people listening? And hey, I want to be a part of this. What kinds of things am I learning?
Yeah. I mean, on the very technical side, I'm learning way too much about website development right now because we're finishing up. I'm working closely with my web developer. He's an amazing person. I just love the guy. He puts the ha 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 after every single message, and I just love it. So he's a great guy. We're working closely together. It's a lot of problem solving here and there because it's like, oh, what posters do we want to offer? How do we connect it to Shopify, to Printful? So all of that is kind of like I've never been a tech person, but now I will be. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm learning on the technical side. And on the more of like morals and mindset side, we've been having a lot of conversations with David. He's been helping me throughout the whole journey. We're doing these podcasts, and I think the best thing that I'm learning right now is how to network with people,
Mhm.
how to talk, how to kind of make a connection, build relationships with them instead of like, oh yeah, what can you give me
Yeah.
and I can give you something. It's never been like that for me. I just love meeting people.
Mhm.
And then now I just have to learn how to maintain all of the relationships that I have the amazing opportunity to develop on this journey.
Interesting. That's really good. So, as I think about my own entrepreneurial journey, like when I was younger, I did everything.
Hmm.
And then as I got older and the business started doing better, I'm like, what am I good at?
Mm.
What do I want to do? Like for you, bring up the web, and that's why I talk about it. Like, so I had to realize, gosh, I really suck at administration. I really not a good HR person. I'm not even the best manager. So as the business grew, I had to put people around me, and that was my job as CEO, to put people around me that were infinitely better. And I did have one partner at a time where he wanted to run a retail mom and pop, and I wanted to be a CEO of a big company and do some different things. And there was a difference in what we were doing. And I didn't want to be the smartest guy in the room anymore. I didn't want to tell everyone what to do and make all the decisions. So as you're growing this business, as you're looking at this journey, whether it's 12 months, 18 months, 24 months or beyond, where do you see yourself, where your natural giftings and strengths lie, and putting the team to, you mentioned the team, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah. I think that's a great question. I'm definitely not going to be a lawyer. Not the least of it. Attorneys, no. So that is definitely not my strength suit. I think that what I'm discovering now is that I am much more creative than I thought I was. So I'm kind of like this visionary person.
Love it.
I have like I can charge people with my passion. I can be like, yes, let's go, let's do it right now. And so I think that is my strong suit at the moment. So maybe I developed that. But yeah, I think that I am doing most of the things right now because we're brute forcing the idea. Is the beginning stages. You just have to know a little bit of everything in order to get it started. But my ultimate goal is, yeah, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I think it's not about it's less important what I know. It's more important the people I know. And so that's why I want to surround myself with people that are professionals in their area that
Yes.
know their stuff, right? And then they can teach me.
Yes.
Even now, because I'm working with great, amazing people who know more than me, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of the decisions that I'm making based on their input. So that's why a small team, you can do that really easily. I ask, what do you think about it? It's not like, oh, do this for me. It's like, what do you think about it?
that.
And they bring such great ideas
Love that.
because they have more experience. So I'm just learning from them too.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
you have a great mentor and coach right here. So
Mhm.
David, what's the vision for you here? Like I always think about, you know, even for me, I always begin with the end in mind. If I have an idea, I have an idea. And then, but then I ask myself the question, so what though? So what is it going to be? Or what? So with this whole thing, what is the end in mind for you? What does success look like?
So first, can you see why I picked her?
Yeah.
She's amazing. It's funny with her dad and her mom will say, "Why Anna?" And I'm like, "It's obvious. Come on, mom, we got it. It's obvious." But it's funny the process she's going through. The reason I set her on that path
Mhm.
and then stepped away is because by the way, I do nothing. I do zero.
Hmm.
Okay, other than answer her questions, and that is by design. Don't get me wrong. I have a 25-year-old daughter. I want to step in and do stuff and help, and I don't. It's hard, but I rein myself in. And because with the goal that I want is by her going through that process, she's going to figure out what she's good at. She's going to figure out what she could do but doesn't want to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, and ultimately, because she has the right mindset, the level of humility, and she doesn't have to be the smartest person in the room, though she might be the smartest person in the room.
Uh-huh.
And, that's what's going to allow her to put herself in the right position ultimately. And so ultimately, with Anna specifically, I kind of think of it as like I'm going to look like a genius,
Uh-huh.
right? And so I already know how it's going to turn out. Again, I have an eye for talent, and I've set plenty of people on their path, and I can tell pretty quickly when things are moving in the right direction and why they're not. It's why I've let her go on the path, and I haven't had to intervene really at all. But ultimately, the goal is, like I was saying before, I want to create 10 to 12 Annas where I like them as much as I like her.
Yeah.
I like the business idea as much as I like this custom poster. It's called one-of-one posters because they're one of a kind.
I see.
And there's so many network effect things you can do too, where let's say you're a huge, college football fan, right? And let's say your favorite school was UCLA or USC, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could create or you're a Laker fan, you could create a whole bunch of posters that are for the Lakers with famous quotes from Shaq, like you were quoting before,
Yep.
Kobe, or whatever it might be. You could create your own shop, and every time someone buys one, you're getting a residual forever.
Wow, that's a
So
lot.
there's all kinds of cool things you could do. So
Yeah.
creating 10 to 12 companies like that,
Yeah.
10 to 12 Annas, though there's only one Anna.
There's only one Anna.
But that's what I ultimately want to do, because it's like, I feel like the way for me to have the biggest impact, the positive impact in the world, is to create, again, you can only affect so many people, in a significant way.
Yeah.
And so I want to basically curate that group of people to the people that I think have the most potential, because then those people are going to affect hundreds of people, and then those people will affect hundreds of people. That network effect is what I'm looking for.
Okay. So, I mean, outside of the anti-MBA program, are there other things that you're doing or with Anna, or just they're separately on your own? Or
Bunch. I mean, I'm publishing my first book that's going to be coming out here in a few months on servant leadership. I took a page out of the Mark Mann. If you read his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So my book's going to be called Lead Like You Give a Shit.
Lead Like You Give a Shit. Servant. Okay.
So that's going to be releasing before the end of the year.
Great.
I'm hopefully going to do my first TED Talk this year. So that's one of my things on my bucket list. I'm trying to get across the finish line.
That would be great.
I'm trying to do everything I can to try to have that, as much of an impact on the world. When I was younger and I was misdiagnosed with cancer when I was 24, there wasn't an internet back then.
Yeah.
Right. So I had made the conscious decision that I wanted to try to, do whatever I could, good in the world.
Yeah.
Now that I wasn't going to die. And so
I would like to hear more. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, just share a little bit. Just
yeah. The Cliff Notes version was misdiagnosed with terminal cancer when I was 24, given 6 months to live. I had just got accepted into Wharton, and they were telling me I would be dead before I would enroll in the fall. And it was about a month between first misdiagnosis and, oh, oops, sorry, you're going to be fine.
oh my God.
So for a month, I genuinely thought I would be dead. And that, having to face my mortality, like genuinely face my mortality at 24, with now my whole adult life ahead of me after that, was such a wonderful gift. And the thing that was most impactful was because I was on the operating table for 3 hours while they were figuring out what it wasn't. I had to stay in the hospital for 48 hours after. So I'm in a stage 4 cancer ward at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York. Everyone around me is dying. The guy in the bed next to me just had his leg amputated. He had bone cancer. The guy in the room next to me had his lung removed. He had lung cancer. And I'm going to be just fine. The worst survivor's guilt you can imagine. And if in that environment, you can't say, maybe I should do something a little bit more with my life. Because at that point, by most people's estimation, I had been very successful. I had, I worked for a company that IPO'd. I was worth $300,000. My equity was worth $300,000. I just got accepted in an award, and I graduated from Brown. And I was like, none of it matters. Like, if I die, a few people will be sad for a little while, and that's it. Yeah. And that really bothered me.
Yeah.
And so I made the
You didn't get a chance.
Was it?
You didn't get a chance to build your legacy yet.
Yeah. And I made that conscious choice that what I was going to do is spend my energy on the 25, 50, 100 people closest to me in my life and try to impact those people as much as I could. But my wife actually is probably the biggest inspiration in this respect, where, because then the internet happened, right? That wasn't even a thing. And she's like, Dave, you really can cast a much wider net. Like when you made that original decision, the world was a different place. And so now that I realize through books, through courses, through, online mentorship, there's so many more people that I can, through TED Talks, so many people I can touch and inspire. And that's really what I'm trying to do.
As an entrepreneur, I mean, I'm curious, like, can you share a little bit about like maybe some of your toughest challenges, how you overcame them, and maybe some of your greatest victories? Do we have time? There's probably a long list.
No. We talked about it before. Yeah. I got into a very protracted legal battle with my ex-wife over stuff relating to forcibly medicating my daughter, and anyway, spent an absolute fortune and drove into bankruptcy. So I went from, and then I had some 8 and 9 figure exits after that, and things have gotten a lot better since then. But frankly, having gone through that process, I'm so grateful for that experience, as crazy as that sounds, because having that getting kicked in the teeth and that humbling experience, I've tried very hard, and I think been mostly successful, remaining pretty humble throughout my life. But that really forced it down my throat.
Wow.
And
I can't imagine.
It was a wonderful gift.
Wow. Most people don't look at it like that way. I mean, again, we talked about it before, but like how you responded to that was a life-changing thing, I'm sure. So looking at the anti-MBA program, and again, people watching, and Anna, you're the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're looking for more here.
First person to ever go through the course.
First person to ever go through.
Yes, and it's in perfect stages, everything.
Okay, that's amazing. So, what can I do to support it? I mean, I'd love to support it and put the word out there to help you, get out there. Maybe you're looking for another 10.
What I would say is if you know people that there really are three different
What are you looking for? Yeah.
that are looking for, right?
Yeah.
It's a first time entrepreneur that wants to try to get it right the first time if they can,
Mhm.
right? It's the failed entrepreneur that maybe wants to get it right, the second or third time.
Okay.
And it's maybe that corporate, executive who sees what's coming with AI and maybe their job's not as secure as they thought.
Yes.
They have some domain expertise, but they've never started a business and don't know how to go through that process. We talked about this off camera. Smartest guy I ever knew would know, doesn't have any business acumen.
Yeah.
And the reality is the skill set, and the IQ, necessary to be a successful entrepreneur isn't the same as what it is to be in corporate America. And so, but I can help shore those pieces up.
Yes.
And so those are really the three different groups. And so if there are people, in any of those three categories and they want to jumpstart,
Yeah.
for 1/100th of what the MBA would cost you,
Yeah.
getting a award MBA would cost you, you'll get, I think, something that's a heck of a lot more value.
Yeah. Practical application right now, and something they can take an idea and run with it. So, Anna, like, what is your hope out of all this? What do you think is going to happen?
I think that there's a lot of things that could happen. I mean, David has a really good plan set out. He's like, we're going to exit in 18 months, 12 months,
Mhm.
whatever. I think that out of this whole experience, I'm going to get to meet so many people and build my own network and try to set myself up for success early on because I'm only 18, right? So I get a head start on a lot of it. 2, I want to get experience of starting a business, whether it is positive, negative, anything,
Mhm.
is going to help me so much later on.
Yeah.
And 3rd, I think that for me, this moment here is probably one of the pivot points that I will remember for the rest of my life. And I think this is the pivot point that is leading me directly to the life that I've always imagined. I always wanted to travel, not for business, for leisure, didn't matter to me. As long as I got to meet different people, explore different cultures, learn about their traditions and their worldview, right? So as long as I get that, I think my life would be absolutely perfect, right? So then that is exactly where I'm heading. And it's probably not going to be a straight path,
Mhm.
but
Never is.
it never is, yeah.
But you got a good guy here to help you.
But I have a good guide to help me, and I also know where I'm going. So I think I'm going to end up there
I love
at one point or another.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, it was great talking with you, having you on, David. Look out for David's book. It's coming out soon. And also, if you're watching this and you know other people that might be a candidate for David and his anti-MBA program, definitely connect with him.
And maybe what we'll do is maybe in the show notes, just put a link to the course.
Yes, for sure. Until next time, guys, God's economy, living beyond the world system. Good stuff.